that the people they've claimed are racist and hate black people and hate black representation, I can look at Into the Spider-Verse and go, that was a good movie. It was very entertaining. I appreciate how they intertwined everything. I thought Miles Morales was properly, like, he was respectably done in that movie, and I enjoyed it a lot. But he still exists because they have no respect for black people or black characters. So they decided this black guy is not good enough for a story on his own. So we're going to hijack a historically great white character and just give him his story. That is the definition of a token character.
Yeah,
it literally is. And anybody that says different doesn't know what the fuck they're talking about, because these people only view black characters as political opportunities. That's it. That's all it is. They are so desperate to prove to you that they're not racist. I'm not racist. I like Miles Morales. You're literally racist if you like Miles Morales for that reason, because you don't like him for any reason other than he's black and you can pretend that you like him.
Yep.
Floor is yours.
Well, my favorite part is when they say, well, why don't you ask a black person how they feel about being represented by Miles Morales? And then we're like, here's Ripa. They're like, well, he doesn't count. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think this is the one you're talking about, right, Ripa?
Yeah. This fucking weirdo, and this is the type of people that you generally going back and forth with on Twitter, if you guys want context. This guy said, tell me you, because responding to the tweet that obviously Jeremy was referencing. He says, tell me you know nothing about the character without telling me you know nothing about the character, which is hilarious that anybody would ever say anything like that to me. If there's one thing that I know, it's fucking comic books, bro. But I said there's 100% chance that I own more Miles Morales book than you do. And he tried the high side, and I called his bluff. I said, okay, let's play the game. I need you to show, and I've done this before. People know this isn't a new tactic. Show me a video of you with your long and your short boxes of these comic books, and then that'll at least let me know that you're equipped to even handle this situation. So this fucking idiot grabs, and you may look at this, and some people were trying to salvage it, saying, well, he just prefers to read the digital stuff. No. What this is, it's a self-owned. That is the Marvel Unlimited app, which is like $5 a month. Everybody has that if you pay them $5 a month. And the hilarious thing is
you get like every comic ever created.
Yeah. Everybody gets it. And the hilarious thing is, if you go, he's only read he hasn't even read it, because under it would be a bar. Like there's a part where he clicks on it at some point.
It says continue reading as opposed to something else, which means he left off somewhere.
If he actually even read them, there will be a bar, an indicator like you see right there with issue number 1. Of that, where he only reads the first page.
LeBron. He's LeBron.
Yeah, he's LeBron and Malcolm X. That's who it is. That's who he is. He's LeBron, because that shit's not anywhere.
He's only read one page of issue 1. Look, nothing else.
That's it. He's a fraud. These are the people that you're arguing with. I call them Google normies all the time, because everything that they like. Again, I'm being honest here. These guys like the idea of Miles. They like that. That's why he was created. The idea that there's a half black Spider-Man. They like the idea of him. They don't actually know who this character is, which is why they get so frustrated at me bringing up a fact that this guy he's Peter Darker with a taper fade. That's who he is. That's not my opinion here. If you like him or whatever, that's fine. Your business. But he's not original. Almost in any sense. The differences that they have are like completely superficial.
I actually have an image of Mr. 5'5" actually reading the Miles Morales books right there. There he is. There he is right there. Getting all that knowledge right there. So
that's who these are the people that you're arguing with, LeBron James, motherfucker. That's who you're arguing with. Or these guys have no idea about it. They like the idea. They'll make stand accounts. And to be fair, I actually think, and this kind of conspiracy theorist, but I think Disney is involved with this shit, because it's kind of weird that these guys, like, I feel like they're like searching for Miles Morales names and looking for fucking shit to get mad at.
I just think that there's a group of people between the age of 16 to 20 that have just been completely fucked up by TikTok and by the public school system and by all this shit. And they don't go out. They don't actually talk to anybody in anything other than like Discord or something like that. and this is just what they do all day.
Yeah.
I honestly think that's why you have these stan accounts that are like just dedicated to Ahsoka, like porn or something like that.
Yeah,
Like that's literally
weird.
all they do. They have built their
awful,
entire,
awful.
identities surrounding this because they have nothing else worthwhile in their lives.
That is true. It's very true. And if you see a lot of them, like if you click on their anime profile pictures and it's like all this, explicit sex shit. And it's like,
weird, man.
they're very weird. Disbrew, have you been following all of this? Like,
it's just it's so weird to me, like that they can't comprehend where other people are coming from. Because it's like if you come home one day and your wife is no longer in the house and she's been replaced by a totally different woman, and she's like, "Look, I'll just do everything your wife did. I'll make the same meals. I'll sleep with you. I'll do everything that she did. I'll even talk the same and sound the same." And you're just like, "But I don't even know who you are." And she's like, "But I'm just like your wife." And you're like, "But I don't love you. Why don't you love me?"
Yeah.
How can you not understand the problem here? And
Yeah.
I'm not tied to this in the least, but there's no argument
It's
that you
because
possibly
she's
got.
black, isn't she?
Yes.
It's like you're emotionally connected to this thing. I like this thing, and it's like, no, but you should like this thing. It's the same. It's like, no.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It's they don't look, like I said, there's no arguments that these guys actually have. It's just strict emotionalism because they like the idea of who the character is. But they don't know them. They don't know anything about them. If you get to the nitty gritty with these guys, they're gonna everything that they know about the character is gonna be on some fandom Wikipedia fucking site or something like that. They do not possess the knowledge base to know anything about him. And also, I would argue that more importantly, in order to understand where we're coming from, you'd have to know who Peter Parker is. You know what I mean? And if you think that Peter Parker is just guy in suit, swinging red blue suit, swinging around, then yeah, you may come to the dumbass conclusion that Miles Morales is so different. You know what I mean? But that's far more than who he is. And you would have to have that knowledge base to understand why basically Miles' entire existence is biting off of him and trying to piggyback off the brand that is recognizable and understandable and digestible because people know it and it works. It's proven to work. It's a method that works. So now you palette swap. And to Jeremy's point, and this is the point that I've made many a times, it's fucking insulting. Because these are often the black characters that get highlighted. Marvel Cinematic Universe is doing that right now. They took the one aside from the people that are tied to the Black Panther universe, there was a character that was black that they had that was original. His name was Falcon. What are they doing with fucking Falcon right now?
Turn him into the white man right there.
Bingo.
Turn him into
same shit because they only see and they try to signal, well, there's multiple versions of this character. That's not the argument here, because the reason why Falcon is especially egregious because he's one of the more old school original black characters, and he got a demotion because you then had to give him the sloppy seconds of Mr. White Man, Steve Rogers, and being Captain America when there was nothing wrong with him being Falcon. That's who he is. He is Falcon. That's his original branding, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But that's what they do. And these people who call like me a self-hating black man, or they say you hate black people, or other people that are in a comic book space that hate black people, all that shit is projection. Because I'm not the one that accepts the sloppy seconds. They do that shit. They're the ones that only see legitimacy in classically white characters, not me. I'm the one that got to tell them about fucking Brother Voodoo and all these other characters that exist. And I'm like, you can just expand upon them. You can do what you did with Blade, right? People even forget fucking Blade's a Marvel fucking hero. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Blade. Well, Black Panther was the first black
superhero. Yeah, that's true. That's very true. It was Black Panther. It wasn't Blade. That trilogy didn't even exist.
It didn't exist. Yeah.
But no, seriously, like they only see legitimacy in white characters, and that's why they foam at the fucking mouth in the event that one of them are changed, and they get off on it. You've probably seen the posts from these stan accounts talking about, basically laughing, giggling, and bragging about every redhead that gets fucking basically swapped, and they're like, okay, who we coming for next? Basically, hell, you can't even have the historical figures, like actual people that existed, like Anne Boleyn, let alone fucking a character that's fictional. Because to them, they only see legitimacy in those. Like Africa, for example, has its own set of folklore, of mythology, and all of that. And it's very interesting if you actually look into it. Why do expand on that when you can just make white or rather black as guardians? which is based on Norse mythology, which I don't know if it gets any wider than that shit. But on a serious, that's what they do. They get so you end up with Black Valkyrie, you end up with like Baron Mortar, you end up with these characters that have historically been one way and they've been original, and they get fucking swapped because they only see legitimacy in white characters, and they too chicken shit to admit it. So they project and say, I hate myself or you hate black people, when none of us here has ever said we don't like original black characters, or we don't prefer. Nobody said that. It's in our circle. Nobody's ever made that fucking claim. Yet they pretend that exists because that's how they fucking feel. They only see legitimacy in those white characters, so they think everybody else feels that way. And that's
I love the people that are always out there, you know, talking about we need more representation and diversity and all this shit. And like, I wonder if any of those people watched any of the movies that I watched growing up, like Boys in the Hood or Juice or Above the Rim, you know, like New Jack City. Those are movies that I literally watched and found enjoyment in. The problem is that the people that are in charge of these characters and the people that continue to support the diversity push, they don't appreciate black culture or black people. What they think is they think that the only thing that's relatable is a white culture. So they're trying to take the black character and turn them into something that was built on white culture and move them more into the white culture side of things. That is a fact. And any of these motherfuckers that say that they're for this stuff, those are the people that will run to the other side of the street when there's like 3 or 4 black guys walking towards them, you know? And
the
so
chicken shit. They're all fucking chicken shit.
They are. And so like, and it's also about like not wanting, and I talked about this in one of my videos that I put up earlier today, but I talked about, that was a Stan Lee video talking about the Stan Lee account being hijacked and being hijacked by people that they don't like. It's symbolic of everything else that goes on with these black characters or non-white dude characters, even the white women. Like, they don't want to build the foundation it takes. They don't want to go through the process it takes to build something. They just want that instant gratification and that instant return on their investment, meaning their time or whatever. So that's why it's better to hijack Star Wars with identity politics characters other than build everything up. It's why it's easy for them to take the EU away and then cherry pick the EU other than just build up their own universe. So I talked about it with Geeks and Gamers. When the people that hate me, they became aware of Geeks and Gamers like in 2018, whatever it was, 2019. They just instantly thought like that was the beginning of Geeks and Gamers, and that was me just capitalizing and, you know, grifting my way to the top. I started Geeks and Gamers in 2011. I lost money until 2018. I lost money. I lost thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. I went through second guessing myself. I went through, you know, ups and downs, wondering if I'm making the right decisions. Is this worth it? Should I keep doing this? Should I just get a regular job? Should I just give up on my dream? Should I just stop because I'm tired of people looking at me sideways when I tell them what I'm trying to do and people laughing or not taking me seriously? All that shit that I went through built me for this. But in order to get to where I am, I had to go through that. And that's what every true story at its ground level has to go through. You got to go through the tough times. You got to go through the grind. You've got to be mentally strained through it all in order to be what you need to be to take it to the level it needs to go to. They don't want to do that at a level of a character. They just go, we don't want to build Falcon up on his own merits. We're just going to hijack the white man's journey and his story because we don't want to work for it. And that's symbolic of so many things today.
And this is why and this goes back to like the talent level that these guys just simply don't have. They're not good. They're terrible fucking writers. They're terrible fucking talents because their versions of how they write black characters are fucking memes anyway. Like they don't know, and that includes the black people that fucking write them as well. They don't know what the fuck they're doing because like what you just mentioned, that's something that transcends ideological, like race, ethnic background, gender, all of that sort of experience. This is what I've said on this show before, and I've said it on 50 million videos. It's the benefit often that classically white characters have gotten all throughout history. And that is that there's no social ill for a white, straight male character to fall back on. So everybody that is forced to write that character has to rely upon their own creativity. Now, that doesn't mean it's always going to work, but this is why Batman is Batman. This is why Spider-Man is Spider-Man, and this is why it took often decades upon decades for these characters to be developed, and they came up with some of these classic sort of storylines over the course of these last decades. They don't do that with black characters because they're mean. They write them like memes, and they're incapable of fucking doing that. So they have to fall back on like a social ill. So they don't understand that, okay, if you presented a character that was black, and I'm gonna show them how to do it. But if you presented a character that was black and he had that experience, for example, that you were mentioning earlier, then people would support him no matter what the racial aspect of it was. If he's cool, he or she is cool, and something worth aspiring for, they would like that and they would embrace that. But they don't have the talent to make something like that happen, so they think it can't happen. Like this video that often goes around, and you guys probably got tagged in it. Some little black dude with a Superman.
Yeah, he's like, are you tired of anyone that's not a cis white man?
Yeah, that
little bitch. Yeah,
cornball. I did a video actually going through all of his dumb shit that he mentioned. If you guys want to go fucking check that out on my channel.
To Ripa's point about memes, this is legendary.
Yeah, this is
it right here.
Black characters.
Yeah, this is it right here. This is it.
Yes. The way he leaps off of rooftops and flips backwards to face the camera before falling into a headfirst dive is just full of the exaggerated swagger of a black teen.
It's memes, man. It's a meme. This is how they view black people and black characters as fucking memes.
Listen to the list. But do you think this guy has ever hung out with a black teen with exaggerated swagger? Listen to that voice one more time.
Maybe gay black teens.
Rooftops and flips backwards to face the camera before falling into a headfirst dive is just full of the exaggerated swagger of a black teen.
black teens are on the DL or something.
Was stalking. He thought he was knocking it out the fucking park. Man, when he said that shit,
he's like, the blacks will really love this.
Yeah.
He's like, even Krista cringing at that one. Even Krista cringing at that.
Oh man,
you never heard that one, have you, Krista?
No, that was my first time seeing it.
It's memes, man. That's what they think of black.
God.
That was my first stream, I think, with that. When I bought Miles Morales, I was playing Spider-Man with exaggerated swagger of a young black teen.
A black teen.